of all women of all red nations, guided steps, opened eyes, and showed us things we have to see. You are alive in all our sisters. You can see the fighting spirit in the tiniest of women eyes, to protect the way of life, to protect the way of life. Born a woman destined to feel the weight of human pain, strengthened by the children's faces, she stands alone in many places. Hear the gunshots while babies cry, comrades, a brother, and still a mother. You are alive in all our sisters. You can see the fighting spirit in the tiniest of women eyes, to protect the way of life, to protect the way of life, to protect the way of life, to protect the way of life.
In the holy quiet of this hour, this is sacred time that cannot be taken from us. These few minutes of calm in an often hectic week, this island of serenity in an ocean of events, this peaceful interlude in the midst of a warring world. We sit together, a company of believers in life. If we are still, we can hear a communal breathing, the heaving of many chests, casting off their burdens, the inhalation by fellow worshipers who seek the inspiration of this time and of this place and of this people. We sense renewal pulsing through our very being. We sit here to receive the blessings of life, the memories that drift across our minds, the hopes harbored in these few moments, the dreams we dare to conjure in the magic of this time. All this we seek in the holy quiet of this hour. Good morning. My name is Sue Penny, and I am the worship leader this morning. I'd like to welcome everyone here. As Unitarian Universalists, we come together in worship each week to honor what is of worth, to celebrate the grace and abundance that surrounds us, and to remember our commitments to each other and the world, including the Shinnecocks, Korjog, and Manhassets, who took good care of this land before we arrived and continue to struggle for justice, as well as the animals who were here before any of us. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on life's journey, whatever your name for the sacred, you are very welcome to bring your full self here. Our Reverend Kimberly Quinn Johnson offers about half of our services, and the others are created by our worship team. And this is one of those services with the help of Megan Chaskey, who brings such a creative energy to this process. I want to acknowledge Megan as a poet, musician, educator, and certified practitioner of Nam yoga therapies and harmonium healing. She draws from universal Kabbalah and other wisdom traditions in her work with children and adults through poetry, sacred music, and healing. She and her family have long shared friendship with the Shinnecock community, honoring that connection through mutual commitment to cultural respect and reverence for the natural world. And we have such a treat with Becky Genia and Holly Hale Thompson. Becky is an enrolled member of the Shinnecock tribe, a great-grandmother, and a dedicated activist. She is committed to protecting the environment and passionately advocates for the preservation of her ancestors' unmarked burial sites. And Holly, Becky's cousin, has been singing with the Thunderbird Sisters since 1973, always willing to gather with neighbors to share justice and peace. She has been a guest preacher here a number of times, and come back November 9th, we think. Holly will be our speaker then. She is an ordained minister, by the way. As always, we thank our tech hosts. Carl Wittenberg has come in specifically to work out some of our kinks. Thank you so much, Carl. And Monica Zazada on the camera. There are also assisted hearing devices if anyone should need those. A lot of papers up here, sorry. There is one important announcement, and that is for next week's picnic right after the service. We encourage everyone to come. If you want to bring something, you can bring a dessert. It'll be right after the service. We do want to give people a chance to introduce themselves if they'd like to. We're going to just acknowledge each other from our chairs this morning, so if you want to give a nod to somebody across the room, that's great. Is there anyone in the meantime that would like to introduce themselves? I think we've got some pretty regulars here. Carl, is there anybody on Zoom? Okay. All right. So we join UU congregations everywhere by our chalice lighting, which is the symbol of our liberal religion. There are words printed in your order of service that we can all say together while I attempt to light our chalice. We light this chalice to celebrate the love within us among us. And Megan will lead us in our first hymn, number 108. How can I keep from singing? I think it's called something different in your hymnal, but please stand as you feel moved and able.
So I have taken the liberty to change one of the lines. So when it talks about the tyrants trembling, sick with fear, this is the third verse. We're going to sing, as they hear the bells of freedom ringing. So just be ready for that part. You all right? My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, though far off hymn that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can can I keep from singing? What though the tempest round me roars? I know the truth, it liveth. What though the darkness round me close? Songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since love prevails in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble, sick with fear, they hear the bells of freedom ringing. When friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? To prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are winging. When friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing? So I have two pieces I'd like to read to you. One is from the hymn to Inanna from 3,000 years ago by Enneduanna. Lady of all powers, in whom light appears, radiant one, beloved of heaven and earth, tiara crowned, priestess of the highest God, my lady, you are the guardian of all greatness. Your hand holds the 7 powers. You lift the powers of being. You have hung them over your finger. You have gathered the many powers. You have clasped them now like necklaces onto your breast. So a very early form of praise to the divine feminine. And then this one is a really interesting one. This is, the story behind this one is, one winter evening, Uvavnuk, who was an Inuit, had gone outside her igloo when suddenly a ball of fire showed in the sky. It was a meteor. She wanted to flee, but before she could move, the meteor hit her, and everything inside her became flaming light. Half unconscious, she ran into her igloo and immediately started to sing this song. It was said that whenever she sang it again, everyone who heard it became senseless with joy, and their minds were cleansed. The great sea moves me. This is her song. The great sea moves me. The great sea sets me adrift. It moves me like algae on stones in running brook water. The vault of heaven moves me. The mighty weather storms through my soul. It tears me with it, and I tremble with joy.
May your roots grow deep, may your branches spread far, may you find the world to be a wonderful place and leave it better for those who follow. We set aside this time in our service to build community by sharing with each other our joys, concerns, our hopes. You can come up, use the microphone so those on Zoom can hear, and I will light a candle, and Carl will make us aware if anyone on Zoom would like to contribute. So. We will move into a time of meditation. I'm going to start with a reading by Max Coots, and then Megan will do a guided meditation. Let us pray to the God who holds us in the hollow of his hands, to the God who holds us in the curve of her arms, to the God whose flesh is the flesh of hills and hummingbirds and angleworms, whose skin is the color of an old black woman and a young white man, and the color of the leopard and the grizzly bear and the green grass snake, whose hair is like the aurora borealis, rainbows, nebulae, waterfalls, and a spider's web, whose eyes sometimes shine like the evening star, and then like fireflies, and then again like an open wound, whose touch is both the touch of life and the touch of death, and whose name is everyone's, but mostly mine. And what shall we pray? Let us say, thank you.
So I invite you for this time of reflection, meditation, to bring your left hand facing up and your right hand facing down. And if you're sitting next to someone, you can even coordinate so that your right hand goes into the person's hand or over the person's hand next to you. Either way. And we're just going to close our eyes. And it's so wonderful that the sun is coming right now, because we're going to imagine that sun, that source of light and life and warmth, pouring down over us. And we're going to imagine that light coming down into our left hand, receiving that light and warmth and love, and then bringing it through our hearts, and then sending it out through our right hand and down to Mother Earth. So receiving the light and the love we can call Father, Son, however we perceive it, giving us that light and love and bringing it through our hearts and giving again to Mother Earth. And we'll take a few breaths here. As we breathe in, we're bringing in that light and love. And as we breathe out, we're sending it out. Just be aware of how precious your heart is in being that transmuter of love.
As we prepare for Megan's second message, we will have an offering that goes around, and there'll be a basket in the back for individuals and not-for-profits outside of this room. And Becky will be singing Rabbit Song with Megan.
Now, please give me a thumbs up. You can hear me. You okay? Okay, great. So, in preparing for this, I've done so much reflecting on the aspect of the divine feminine. And there's so much here, but one of the most wonderful things is the correspondence that I have come to see between what I've been learning about Sophia in the Judeo-Christian tradition. And there's two stories I'm going to tell, and you'll hear there are two parts that are resonant with each other. The other story is an Indigenous story of Sky Woman falling. So as I'm telling these stories, I'd like you to listen for the tree of life imagery, and also and think of it as the imagination, the archetypal realm of the falling, the woman, the divine feminine, as she falls into density, into this material world. It happens in both. So, Divine Mother appears in many forms, in many cultures. And so, as we listen to these stories, we're going to experience different parts of these stories as parts of ourselves. So they're creation stories, but they're also about our psyches. And as Thomas Berry says, we need a new story. So we are in the midst of creating a new story by reconnecting with the divine feminine aspect of the oneness. So there's a balance between divine masculine and divine feminine. And it's so important for us to take our place in this story as the best as we can as human beings, becoming conscious of our connection with the oneness of all life, and in that way moving us to treat each other with compassion and also the environment and the natural world. So from Proverbs we have, so Sophia is wisdom. So when you hear wisdom in this Proverbs, you can also begin to connect with Sophia. Wisdom ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths lead to peace. She is a tree of life to those who embrace her, and those who hold on to her are happy. So I'm going to tell you the myth of Sophia, Holy Mother, wisdom, the feminine aspect of the divine. In relation to the Father, Sophia is the very substance of creation. She's the power or force of its being. As the daughter, Sophia is the meaning, truth, and justice. In relation to the Holy Soul, Sophia is the holiness and the beauty of creation. And so I'm going to lead you through just in your imagination. Imagine the ineffable one, the incomprehensible oneness. No light, no senses, only a potential of being. And the thought before creation, the seed syllable soft, from which Sophia's name comes from, soft, was a seed syllable, a seed sound. In the beginning, there was an inaudible murmur, and it begins to roll and resound through a vastness not bound by space or time because they don't exist yet. An indefinite echo throughout the limitless emptiness pulsing inside the sonar field. Infinite droplets of pure light unfold into a spiraling dream of luminosity like a flower opening. In a thunderous flash, creation begins to ignite the darkness, swirling spirals of dancing light. The force of creation emerges from the absolute aloneness of this ineffable one upon the geometry field that supports all of manifestation. Imagine the white core of the galaxy begin to spiral into a pattern of a torus field. And a torus field is an energy that comes down and moves around and comes back and moves down and around in all directions, appearing as the galactic spiraling movement of our own Milky Way galaxy as we take our place in the infinite universe. This creative force feels an intense longing for two-ness. So in the midst of this oneness, the creative force wants to experience the experience of other and two-ness. So from the core of this universal process, the divine feminine came out. She followed her yearning. She was curious, she was interested, she was enthralled and intensely allured by the possibility of creation. And she begins to travel by herself, her attention so riveted on this experiment in the outer arm of the galaxy that she unwittingly passes through a veil. And her action disturbs the balance. Because in the oneness, the divine masculine and the divine feminine are always interconnected, intergenerational in the meaning of generating life together, interpenetrating. Out of this dreaming of the oneness, the aeons form pairs in that masculine and feminine polarity, like the yin and the yang. And they produced a thought form, the form of a seed from the geometries that underlie creation. And this is where Christos and Sophia came from as that one creative dyad. And this is the creation field where we live, breathe, work in, and co-create with. And out of this Christos Sophia creative dyad, they dreamed of Anthropos, the luminous child, the possible human, an imaginable being, the golden seed. And this is how the dream of earth came about. Is as if the aeons were gardeners facing a fertile, empty field, and they were dreaming of how they might create a home for this humanity, Anthropos. So as Sophia was dreaming into this creation, she traveled through that veil, and it caused such a disturbance. But she realized that she had violated the fundamental principle of creation, that in the generation of organic life, there needs to be the balance of masculine and feminine. And so, as a powerful emanating goddess, a creative energy is thrown off of her. So this is what happens when she moves out of that oneness. And this desire to create gives rise to a distorted life form, Yaldabaoth. It's a violent eruption of alien life forms, a spontaneous misformation of divine power, and a complete surprise to Sophia. Yaldabaoth believes himself the only God. He assumed himself to be the God who created it all, no other gods before him. Yaldabaoth creates the archons, the false, robotic, imitative beings. They're mechanized aspects, the masters of simulacrum. And simulacrum is the process of making something similar, but it's not the essence of the living thing. It mimics, it's pure imitation. So when Sophia falls from the pleroma, the unity, into time and space and matter, she has this experience in the density of matter, in this outer form of our galaxy. And now she's in a different field of creation. It was not sin, it was not shame that she fell into the density of matter, because the laws are different here than in the galactic core. So when she realizes what has happened, in order to redeem that action, she determines to become the earth. She doesn't create the earth, she becomes the earth. It's an experiment for her. Her massive currents of cosmic light convert inorganic sediment from the galactic limbs into the elements of a planet. We also imitate her in our own physical bodies made of the same elements. Fire, her cosmic galactic fire becomes the heat of the fires that warm the conditions for life on Earth. And to become the home of Anthropos, the golden child, and the element of water, of emotion, of memory, of flow, the water of life that gives rise to movement and a rushing spontaneity, a vital constituent of the fluids of all living things: water, ice, steam, snow, fog, dew, so many forms and expressions, capable of holding the impressions of thought and sending that over all the face of the earth. And air, the movement of spirit, and earth, Sophia's bones and structure, the density and rock come into form as patterns of land and crystalline structure. So earth becomes Sophia's dreaming body, a habitat for all the multitude of life forms, all the creatures, all the birds and mammals, all the diversity of the microbes in the sea and under the earth, all the thoughtful life of this planet are all different expressions of the body of Sophia. But faced with this artificial world system of the aeons, as Sophia slowly transforms from her pleromic form into the dense material body, the intensity of her divine light starts to diminish. But a celestial light, a newborn star, comes to her aid, Sabaoth, our sun. Just as we were receiving the light, when we were imagining receiving the light and passing through our heart, through our hands to the earth. And Sophia blesses the sun and pours her own divine light upon the sun as the sun comes to her aid. And then Sophia looks at Yaldabaoth, the one who thinks he's the god and can create beyond any cosmic laws. And in her radiant power, she says, "You are mistaken, blind one. There is an immortal child of light who came into this realm before you, and who will appear among your duplicate forms in your simulated world, and its entire deficiency of truth will be revealed and dissolved in this luminous child." And does that have any resonance for us now? The anthropos, the divine human potential, that luminous child is in each of us as we play a key part. We are the immortal child of light, and our remembering dissolves the false world when we remember the first origin, all mother, all father, cosmic balance restored. Now, the other story I want to tell you is of Sky Woman falling. And once, long ago, before time, in the sky world, with only sky beings, no time, no space. And there was a chief who became ill. And he was told that the only way that he could be healed would be if the tree of life would be torn up by its roots. But the tree of life was the source of all life in the sky world. And it made him very sad, and he was told that this was the only way for him to survive. And his daughter, who loved him very much, said she would pull up the sky tree, the tree of life. And as she pulled it up, a hole was created where those roots were. And as she looked down through the hole, she thought she saw little sparks of light below, but it was mostly darkness. And this is from Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. So she takes up the story at this point. And as she looked down through that hole, she fell like a maple seed pirouetting in the autumn breeze. A column of light streamed from a hole in the sky world, marking her path where only darkness had been before. It took her a long time to fall. In fear, or maybe hope, she clutched a bundle tightly in her hand. She'd grabbed onto a branch of the tree as she was falling, and in her hand came some of the seeds from the tree of life. Hurtling down, she saw only dark water below, but in the emptiness were many eyes gazing up at this sudden shaft of light that was opened up in the sky. And they saw a mere dust mote in the beam. As it grew closer, they could see it was a woman, arms outstretched, long black hair billowing behind as she spiraled toward them. And there's the spiral, too. And the geese nodded at one another and rose together from the water in a wave of goose music. She felt the beat of their wings as they flew beneath to break her fall, and far from the only home she had ever known, she caught her breath at the warm embrace of the soft feathers as they gently carried her downward. And so it began. The geese could not hold her above the water for much longer, so they called a council to decide what to do. And resting on their wings, she saw them all gather, the loons, the otters, the swans, the beavers, the fish of all kinds. And a great turtle floated in their midst and offered his back for her to rest upon. Gratefully, she stepped from the goose wings onto the dome of the shell, and the others understood she needed land for her home, and they discussed how they might create this for her. The deep divers among them had heard that there was mud at the bottom of the water and agreed to go find some. Loon dove, but the distance was too far, and after a long while she surfaced with nothing to show for her efforts. One by one, the other animals offered to help, the beaver, the sturgeon, but the depth, the darkness, and the pressure were too great for even the strongest swimmers. They returned, gasping for air, and their ears ringing. Some did not return at all. Soon, the little muskrat, the littlest of all of them, offered to go. He was the weakest diver of all. He was the smallest of all the animals, but he offered to go. His small legs flailed as he worked his way downward, and he was gone for a very, very long time. They waited and waited for him to return, fearing the worst for their relative. And before long, a stream of bubbles rose with the small, limp body of the muskrat. He had given his life to aid this helpless human. But then the others noticed that his paw was tightly clenched, and when they opened it, there was a small handful of mud. Turtle said, "Here, put it on my back, I'll hold it." Sky Woman bent and spread the mud with her hands across the shell of the turtle, and moved by the extraordinary gifts of the animals, she sang in thanksgiving and then began to dance. And this is an important part of the story. She was giving thanksgiving. Her feet caressing the earth. The land grew and grew as she danced her thanks from the dab of mud on Turtle's back until the whole earth was made. Not by Sky Woman alone, but from the alchemy of all the animals' gifts, coupled with her gratitude. And together they formed what we know today as Turtle Island, our home. Like any good guest, and we should remember that we are guests, Sky Woman had not come empty-handed. The bundle she clutched in her hand when she toppled from the hole in the sky world and reached up to the tree of life had given her fruits and seeds of all kinds of plants. And she scattered these on the new ground and carefully tended each one until they turned to green, and the sun blessed the earth and streamed through the hole from the sky world, allowing the seeds to flourish, wild grasses, flowers, trees, and medicinal plants everywhere. And now that the animals too had plenty to eat, many came to live with her on Turtle Island. So in contemplating these two myths, one of Sophia, the divine feminine, and the other of Sky Woman falling, let's determine to bring the divine feminine into conscious relationship within ourselves and within our relation with each other through compassion and to our environment. Thank you. Thanks. So we're going to stand as you're able, and we're going to make a circle, and we're going to sing Circle Round for Freedom together. It's in the hymnal, but if you don't want to have to hold your hymnal, I'm going to tell you the words, and we'll sing it, and I think you'll be okay. So if you'll stand. The words are circle round for freedom, circle round for peace. For all of us in need, circle for release. Circle for the planet, circle for each soul. For the children of our children, keep the circle whole. So taking hands of someone next to you. Thank you, thank you. I know it's... Yes. It can complete the circle. All right. And if you would like to continue with what we were doing before, you can have your left hand up and your right hand down. And then the energy moves round the circle as you receive from your left and give with your right. Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us in need. Circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul. For the children of our children, keep the circle whole. Let's do it again, now we know it. Circle round for freedom, Circle round for peace, for all of us in need. Circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. And now we're going to do a prayer to finish. And if you're all right standing, we'll do it standing because it's lovely to be in a circle. And I'll do it call and response. Love before me.
Love before me.
Love behind me.
Love behind me.
Love at my left.
Love at my left.
Love at my right.
Love at my right.
Love above me.
Love above me.
Love below me.
Love below me.
Love in me.
Love in me.
Love in my surroundings.
Love in my surroundings.
Love to all.
Love to all.
Love to the universe.
Love to the universe.
Peace before me.
Peace before
Peace behind me.
Peace behind me.
Peace at my left.
Peace at my left.
Peace at my right.
Peace at my right.
Peace above me.
Peace above me.
Peace below me.
Peace below me.
Peace in me.
Peace in me.
Peace in my surroundings.
Peace in my surroundings.
Peace to all.
Peace to all.
Peace to the universe.
Peace to the universe.
Light before me.
Light before me.
Light behind me.
Light behind me.
Light at my left.
Light at my left.
Light at my right.
Light at my right.
Light above me.
Light above me.
Light below me.
Light below me.
Light in me.
Light in me.
Light in my surroundings.
Light in my surroundings.
Light to all.
Light to all.
Light to the universe.
Light to the universe. Please be seated. Thank you, Megan. And we hope you'll join us after the postlude for fellowship and light refreshments in our fellowship hall. And we hope you will return next week to hear the Reverend Kimberly talk about the truth about cats and dogs. A little different than today. And then to go to the picnic afterwards, following the service next week. And now we will have our closing song.
I just want to say thank you.